atomic bombs, nuclear weapons, graft and corruption, crimes, famine, thirst, blood, name it, the world has it. Nation against nation, state against church, government against the armed forces, military versus the fascists, innocent civilians in between. The guns rattle, the deafening sounds fill the air, and then silence. Is there still a way out? In an instant, our lives are threatened with uncertainty. Our children facing bleak future. Everything seems dark ahead. Everything is vague. But still, everybody gropes for soothing words to say. Everybody hopes. And yet, what is there to hope for? But then hope. We must not let these go off our hands, out of our grasps, out of our lives completely. It is not a question of our differences, not even of our mistakes, but rather of our principles that we can hopefully resolve and come up with the most taken for granted word. Peace. Yes, peace. There's nothing so clear about it. Nothing so elusive. But only this is the most abused word. It's been drawn with a successive bang-bang of guns. Our senses have become numb. Our consciousness refusing to believe its existence. We often regard peace with its negatively charged counterparts: war, friction, contention. Yet, we never progress. We never dare toss on our wonder. We never even care to make it our overriding concern to propagate peace and roast the underlying benevolence deep within our hearts. Can we not, even just for once, secede from our mistakes, learn from our past, and come out spiritually youngtion? Let's face it, our principles are as rotten as our faith in God. We may not be aware of this, but it is an established fact that more often than not, our tendencies to seek refuge in worldly splendor, unaware that we are only putting a limit to our sense of finding strength. We are in a labyrinth of moral darkness, lost and searching. And unless we work for our escape, we will be trapped forever. How many of those people up there have sold their principles, on one way or another, just to be where they illogically think they are? How many of them have preferred to be in demagoguery just to win power, accumulate wealth, and get in touch with the most influential part of the society? And how many of us have ever thought of peace as the most basal requirement for us to ever find happiness? And yet, you might ask how. There are not much close to following achieving world peace. The fundamental step of this must come from every person who still believes that peace can exist and is willing to give it a chance. Basically, there have to be some changes. Changes that have to take place within us first. With this, we have to evolve our hearts, our soul, our sight. We just couldn't be forever involved in our peccadillos. We have to be cruel to ourselves sometimes in order to be kind to the entire humanity. Remember, to propagate peace, there has to be a contamination process. We have indeed an animal instinct in us to disregard peace, deflate our principles, and go on with the things which are arbitrary to our impulses. Yes, everything is up to us. Everything must come from us. And we are held responsible for whatever future that awaits us. It is time to wake up now. We just couldn't let ourselves be swayed into something horribly inevitable. We have been in this maze since time immemorial, and we shall be forever in this dilemma, not unless we learn to navigate our own principles, yet selfish motives. Man lifts man up, man drags man down. Life's a game, they say. These things are just the basic and elementary steps in the achievement of world peace. The underlying tone to this still longs for our faith in God, to save us from a crisis of our own making. If we fail ourselves, God never will. Indeed, the achievement of peace is just a standardization of our moral principle, of our faith in ourselves, in others, and in Him, and of the unfolding justice of the entire humanity. St. Thomas Aquinas once said, "Pax opus justitia. Peace is the product of justice. Is there still a way out? No one can ever tell. Nobody can ever be sure. But one thing is certain. Man will never know the real essence of peace, not unless he knows the real meaning of death. How to Achieve World Peace by Maria Axel.